In the middleweight division at UFC 309, Chris Weidman is back and he's taking on Eryk Anders. Weidman 16-7, Anders 16-8. Remember Chris Weidman with the injury a few years back. Hasn't had many fights since then, but he's, I don't want to say back to normal, but he's back. Weidman's 1 inch taller at 6'2", but he's 40. That's the problem. However, Anders is 37. That helps. Weidman 3 inch reach advantage. He stands right-handed. Anders stands southpaw or left-handed. Both guys hover right above 3 significant strikes per minute. Not great but it's because they land takedowns. Weidman over 1 per round. Anders 1 every other round. So I'm curious right now what Anders' takedown defense is. It's 79%. That's pretty darn good. Pretty good. The All-American Chris Weidman 65% takedown defense. So that kind of evens up the takedown game a little bit, although you got to give the edge to Weidman. He did beat Bruno Silva, surprisingly. Dominated 75-30 in significant strikes and won by decision. Lost to Brad Tavares. That was the first fight after the injury. 2 years later, over 2 years, when he was injured against Uriah Hall. So he's lost 2 of the last 3, but we don't know what would have happened in the Uriah Hall fight, right? So you really got to look at it like he's 1-1 in the last 2, but more importantly, with the win over Bruno Silva this year, back in March. Eryk Anders beat Jamie Pickett by decision, lost to Marc-Andre Barriault by decision, and beat Kyle Dawkins by KO. Yeah, so this is an easy one for me. I know Weidman is the underdog, but it's still Chris Weidman. And yeah, he's 40, but he's still hungry. Because of the injury at like 30, he's 35, 36 at the time. He hasn't had as many fights over the last 4 years as he'd like, but he's fresh. And it's the 3rd fight after the injury, so he's just going to get better. So I almost dismiss the fact that he's 40 right now. Can't dismiss it when he's like 42, but I can right now. And I think he's more active here on the feet. He's going to land some takedowns, round 2, round 3, with a little bit of ground and pound to secure victory. So I think Chris Weidman, with the level of fights he had, more than Eryk Anders, and he lost to Marc-Andre Barriault. So I think Weidman's better than him. So Weidman wins, in my opinion, by decision to move to 17-7, middleweight division, UFC 309.